Welcome to Global Entrepreneurship Week 2024. I'm Jonathan Altmans, and this is the 17th year since we founded this great global campaign to empower more citizens around the world to consider the path of entrepreneurship. And whether you're new to this field or whether you're one of the experienced builders and backers in one of our communities across the globe, you are now part of a movement that believes that we can solve problems, a movement in 200 countries that this week will attract over 10 million people to over 40,000 events. It's a very important campaign because it focuses on what we can create and build and do at a time when there's so many challenges for our world. And we really hope that you will look at this as an opportunity to be part of creating something new, building something better, of figuring out a new way of doing things with your fellow citizens. We believe that entrepreneurship is for everyone. In fact, that's our tagline and theme this year. It builds on the notion that we believe that entrepreneurship can happen anywhere, which is where we began this campaign, with trying to convince the world that Silicon Valley didn't have a monopoly on this. It could happen in any community, and it could happen to anyone. This week, you'll see a lot happening. I, for one, have the great privilege of speaking at the COP29 conference around the role that founders and startups have in actually coming up with solutions that can be implemented towards some of our climate goals, whether they're green tech or clean tech advocates, or whether they're simply looking at new solutions that will help execute what our government leaders feel is important to save our planet. We will also, in the other part of the world, it'll happen in Baku in Azerbaijan, but in another part of the world, in South America, in Rio, we'll be releasing our new G20 entrepreneurship report that will take a look at what are the latest trends and what are the latest developments happening in the major economies around the world within the global entrepreneurial ecosystem. I will also personally be in South Africa, where we'll open our latest Gen Campus, the 22 on Sloan Hub in Cape Town, an opportunity for us to show globally what can happen in a community that rallies around effective tactical strategies to enable more of its entrepreneurs to be able to succeed in their journey towards self-resilience and finding opportunities and turning them into reality. We'll have various members of our team in other parts of the world. In Europe, I know we have 3 members participating with governments. There's also going to be the Web Summit happening in Portugal. And perhaps most importantly, I'm very excited to say entrepreneurship will be celebrated in small left-behind communities across the United States. We're always so proud of the great campaigns that happen in Kansas City, the home of the Kauffman Foundation, which of course is the leader behind this movement, was the ones that developed the idea and has supported it from its outset. And we've been joined along the way by many companies, people like FedEx, who recognize the importance of empowering several communities and demographic groups that have been left out of this equation in the past. So I hope you'll participate wherever you are in the world, and that you're enjoying this week, and that you'll take a look at what's happening, whether on the research side or whether finding out what's happening in a community different to your own. But I also hope if you get excited about this world and you're keen to think, how do I take a next step? We are very pleased to announce that for the first time in many years, since it was actually initiated, the Global Entrepreneurship Congress will be returning to the United States. It'll be held in Indianapolis in Indiana, the first week of June of 2025. If you're planning a trip to the United States in 2025, please plan it around that time. Come and join us. Come and meet many of the leaders of the ecosystems across the world, where we'll have thousands of representatives, both leaders, investors, as well as, of course, the founders and the entrepreneurs and small businesses that are being enabled by this great movement. We'll all gather in Indianapolis for a week, and it's a great chance for you to make new friends, to create opportunities, and to walk away empowered with the understanding that actually this is a genuinely global movement in every nation, despite the fact that on the front pages of our newspapers, we
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this exciting panel discussion as part of Global Entrepreneurship Week 2024. My name is Michelle Samuel, and I am honored to be your host today. I am thrilled to have all of you here with us, whether you are joining virtually via YouTube or you are sharing the link and watching via Facebook. Welcome. Just know that there are promises ahead, and it's going to be an insightful and inspiring event. As we begin, I'd like to invite everyone to take a moment to center ourselves as I open up with a word of prayer. Father, Lord, thank you so much for the breath of life. Thank you for everything that you've given us and everything that we are even about to receive. Please bless these proceedings. Amen. Now, before we dive in, let me give you a brief overview of today's event. This session will highlight stories of resilience, innovation, and collaboration from St. Lucian entrepreneurs, both here and from the diaspora. Our goal is to bridge the gap between these two communities and spark opportunities for growth and partnership. The event is part of Global Entrepreneurship Week, an international celebration of innovation and entrepreneurial spirit, founded by the Global Entrepreneurship Network. It was the president whom you heard of before me. So this organization is based in Arlington, Virginia, and operates programs in 200 countries, aimed at making it easier for anyone, anywhere, to start and scale a business. SLUDTERA is proud to play a leading role in fostering this spirit within our local and global St. Lucian community. Now let us get started. I'm delighted to introduce our incredible lineup of speakers today. Each of them, as they will share their unique story, they will share their entrepreneurial journey, and of course, their commitment to making an impact. So let's meet each of them. So as I call upon their names after I'm doing so, I will bring them on camera so that they can individually introduce themselves and just share a little bit about who they are. So I have joining me Clyle Flavius. She's a passionate innovator, launching a business focused on sustainability and reducing organic waste. We are also joined by Mr. Ross Kadas, a skilled business consultant and entrepreneur, dedicated to mentoring startups and scaling ventures globally. From the diaspora also, we have Chef Ed Harris, an award-winning chef whose culinary products and mentorship have made a mark across the US and beyond. And we have Satra St. Louis, the visionary behind Craft Tea by Satra, celebrating St. Lucia's culture through creative craft kits and activity booklets. We have one other guest from the diaspora, that is Chef Belina, Chef Tafari James. I'm hoping that she's going to be joining us very shortly. She is a culinary artistry and digital storyteller, and she's inspired audiences worldwide through her creative cooking classes and community initiatives. So these are the voices shaping the future of entrepreneurship in and for St. Lucia. So now let's hear directly from them as we welcome them to the stage. Hi, guys. Good afternoon. How are you all doing?
Hello, hello.
Excellent.
Hi,
Hello.
Michelle. Good day.
Awesome. Glad to see all of you here with us this afternoon. So, we are celebrating day 2 of Global Entrepreneurship Week. For those of you who do not know, Global Entrepreneurship Week is celebrated from the 18th to the 24th of this month. It also coincides with Business Month, which is celebrated this month in St. Lucia. So, again, this is our theme. Scrolling at the bottom, entrepreneurship is for everyone. Now, there may be a couple of persons who may disagree with this statement, but I, for one, am for it. I say I. Entrepreneurship is for everyone. You just kind of need to have the right cap on in order to be that entrepreneur, and the right heart in order to do that as well. So I'm going to ask each of these wonderful individuals to just briefly give some, you know, background information about themselves. So I'm going to start with ladies first, Clael, followed by Satra.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am definitely thrilled to be part of this panel discussion today. I'm the founder of Fanny Coco. My business aims to specialize in sustainable production of coconut-based products. These include coconut products for cooking, hair, and beauty products, and the manufacturing of high-quality organic compost with the coconut coir. For those of you who do not know what the coconut, for those of you who do not know what organic compost is, organic compost is decomposed organic matter added to the soil, which improves the soil health and the soil quality. And this enables high quality crops and trees, plants, flowers to grow faster, larger, which is similar to chemical fertilizer, but in a more organic way and also a more natural way, thus protecting the environment. So in that way, we aim to reduce the amount of organic waste which ends up in St. Lucian's landfill, which is currently causing an overwhelming problem in waste management. So my passion for eco-friendly innovation and the love for nature and protecting the resources of our beautiful country, this is the driving force behind my business venture. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Clael. Satra, let's go on to you.
Hi everyone, I am Satra St. Louis and I am the founder and creative director of Crafty by Satra. Crafty by Satra is a creative business that mainly celebrates the island of St. Lucia through our original craft kits, games, and activity booklets. And my goal with the business is to provide products that spark creativity and curiosity, not just for our youth, but also our adults. And not just for locals, but also for visitors to the island who are always looking for ways to take a piece of St. Lucia back home with them. Crafty by Satra started off as a small passion project for myself, something that I used to do to helped me with my anxiety was a lot of cross stitching, and then I got into designing my own cross stitch designs and then executing them. So I decided to make turn that passion into a business, and now it has grown into something truly special, and I'm excited to see how much it can grow in the future. I really want to be able to bring the joy of crafting to everyone, whether it be for younger children to help them with their fine motor skills, to teenagers who, battle with expressing themselves, and also for adults who want a way to relieve stress. I want it to be able to, Crafty by Satra to be able to be a part of the problems, solving those problems for persons, not just locally, but also internationally.
Thank you so much, Satra. So let's move on to the final member of our local entrepreneurial community. Let's go over to Isaiah.
Hi, good day, everyone. My name is Isaiah Lord, and my passion is people and technology. And I kind of put both together into one bouillon, which is We Fix It. And what that is, it's like a one-stop shop for tradespeople. So we find meaningful work for tradespeople, such as plumbers, carpenters, and electricians. And we bring customers to them, right? And I really started this thing out during a down period in our sales team whilst I worked at Worlds. And in that down period, I grabbed a napkin and I looked at the napkin. I was like, okay, what idea can I come up with, right? Instead of wasting time. So I just scrolled the name out, We Fix It. And then I was like, okay, what's the issue that we have in the construction industry? And I just started to write and write and write. And I think I still have that napkin. And that's how the idea came about. And the reason I love entrepreneurship is because entrepreneurship is an incredible art and science of taking the immaterial idea and making it walk and live across the earth. That's why I love entrepreneurship.
Wow, that needs to be on a TED Talk. Now we move on to the members of our diaspora. Can we start with Mr. Ed Harris, and then we'll move on to Mr. Ross Kadas?
Hello, everyone. My name is Ed Harris, and for me, I am a consulting chef and a product developer. And basically, as a consulting chef, I help restaurant owners and people that want to start a restaurant, have a restaurant, and are trying to figure out ways to maximize profits, create systems so the restaurant runs more efficiently, designing layouts for the kitchen, anything that you could think about that you would need front of the house, back of the house for a restaurant. I help bring that into fruition. And then the second part of my business is that I create products. So whether it's seasonings, sauces, pancake, waffle mixes, anything like that, I help create those, and I do that for myself as well. And I've been doing that for over 20 years now. And being an entrepreneur is just something that is very energetic, very fun, and just something that brings to life the creativity that is in each of us. And that's basically what I do. So thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward to being here and being a part of this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ed. Ross?
Wow. I want to say that I'm a big fan of Ed's.
Likewise.
Big fan of Ed's.
Likewise.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ross Kadas. I'm originally from the beautiful community of Ancillary in St. Lucia. I have to say that. I have to let everybody know that because I just love Ancillary. I'm a serial entrepreneur who started in 2017 when I was an executive with a global company. And I was just tired of making money for people who didn't know I existed. That's my first reason. Second reason is I opted out of corporate Canada, okay, because of Black anti-systemic racism. So that's where my journey began. I always had an entrepreneurial mind. Started my first business at St. Mary's College in St. Lucia. Was my first business where I rented.
Great school, by the way.
Yep, rented my dad's VHS movies to students and made money from that. I hope he's not listening because he'll probably charge me back. Then I moved on. When I came here for university, I started my first registered business, Crown Computer Sales, where I sold computers to students coming into university first time. Went into corporate Canada after that and opted out, as I said before. I currently run a few different initiatives. The first one is innovative technology solutions or strategies. And it's a company that leverages cutting edge technology to streamline recruitment and connect talented professionals to meaningful opportunities, both locally and globally. One of our other ventures are BIPOC Jobs, BIPOC.ca. BIPOC stands for Black, Indigenous, People of Color, which is a platform dedicated to promoting and placing talent from underrepresented groups in roles where they can thrive and make an impact. As well, recently, and closer to home and closer to St. Lucia, I recently founded, with a few other entrepreneurs, Catalyze Caribbean, and you're going to hear about it soon. But what it is a startup focused on connecting Caribbean talent to North American markets through virtual tools and services. Our initiative is about showcasing that talent from our region can compete on a global stage. With technology, we can eliminate the barriers to opportunity. At the core of everything I do, everything that I do, I have a commitment to innovation, technology, and that empowers diverse professionals and drives regional growth. So I look forward to our conversation today. Isaiah, I gotta tell you, when you talk about really putting your ideas on a napkin, I did the same thing in 2017 when I started the business. It's not a joke. I was at a restaurant with one of my former employees, and on a napkin, we took out everything that was bad about the industry, the recruitment industry, and we inputted everything that we liked about it. And that became my business. So I look forward to our conversation today. I'm pretty excited, and happy Global Entrepreneurship Week, everybody.
Okay, and there you have it. And of course, I'm not going to leave myself out. That will be remiss of me to do so. So I'm going to introduce my business. It's actually called SLUDTERA, and we're a business development and social impact consulting firm specializing in fostering sustainable businesses while making a positive impact. And our thing is, the focus is on community and on people. So we're all about doing projects and all about moving the people, because I believe that for the community to stand behind your business has to support and do for the community. That is the belief. So that is what my business does. And I also own M&S Consultancy. It is a private consultancy practice where persons come to me for assistance. Basically, if they're undecided about what their purpose or their true purpose is with their business, if they're just starting, I help them, guide them through the process, and even to help them, develop and implement their ideas. So this is what I do as a business owner. But one of the things that I have a passion for is connecting people and building ecosystems. That is a passion that I have and I've had for a number of years. And I only discovered this passion in 2017. Traveling to the US, I was based in Kansas City for a period of 6 weeks with the Full Employment Council. And I was introduced to a program, 1 Million Cups, every Wednesday. And when I attended, the environment and the peer network that existed just amazed me, that everybody was there to help each other. And that is an environment that I was very unfamiliar with in St. Lucia, because it's a dog-eat-dog world, everybody for himself type of thing. And it was really refreshing to see an environment where persons were literally looking for someone that they can help, and nothing is asked for in return. It is literally a very supportive environment, and I wanted to create that sort of space in St. Lucia. So my very first project was Startup Huddle, and I launched that in 2018. And I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to have people around me that were passionate about what I was passionate about as well. So my initial team consisted of persons from across the Caribbean. So we had Dominicans, I had St. Lucians. I was able even to bring down a local celebrity, Joshua Esnard, to St. Lucia to help with the launch. And it really made an impact. It brought into that room persons from all industries in one room. And after that event, the networking was phenomenal. It was like something wonderful was birthed, and I wanted to see it continue. And so through Startup Huddle, every month, that platform where persons can come together and share and discuss and support each other exists. Currently, it is now run by a good friend of mine, Tanzania Mathre, and she's doing a phenomenal job of it. She's actually relaunching it this evening. So if you have not yet registered for that, please go there and let her know that I sent you. Okay, so now let us go into our discussion, because of course that is what you are here for. So our discussion is separated into 2 to 3 parts. We're going to have a discussion about challenges and successes in business. And then we're going to then segment it to speak to our local entrepreneurs a bit. And then we're going to talk to our diaspora towards the ending of the session, because I think there is a couple of big things happening that they may want to share with you. They may want to announce and make you aware of. But just know that if you really want to participate in whatever it is that they have, you must fill out the form. We have an RSVP form that we want to capture your information. Please fill out this form, and there are some resources that we're going to make available to you, and you'll be able to connect with our guests. Okay, so I'm going to put the link to this form in the chat, in the comment box. So please be sure to fill this out so that you can get access to whatever resources that they have available to you. So let's begin our discussion. Okay, let's begin with our discussion. So we want to again talk about our challenges and successes. This is where we kind of want to start with. So the first question is, what are 2 challenges that you faced in starting your business? Just 2 challenges, the biggest ones that you can think of, and anybody can start.
Okay, I'll go. I'm surprised you limited us to 2 challenges, because as an entrepreneur, challenges come every day. It's, our journey is filled with challenges. However, for me, and one of the challenges, not only for myself, but I saw with most entrepreneurs, is always thinking that they have a fallback plan, right? So, it's important that we let go the idea of, oh, I have a resume. Most entrepreneurs that I come across, they go into a business and they say, okay, I'm going to start my own business. But if it doesn't work, I can just update my resume and get a job. And I think that one for security is what what held me back. Okay. And I think what holds back most entrepreneurs. Until I told myself, listen, Ross, I need to fully commit. I need to burn the resume. I had to erase thought of a backup plan and go all in. That mindset shift was essential to our success. It forced me to find solutions to every problem, because failure was no longer an option. And I wasn't just building a business, I was actually building my future. Another challenge, which was a huge one for me, that I only realized 2 to 3 years into the business, how important it is to find the right partner. Okay, somebody who understood my vision. It was so critical. Building a business is not just about finding employees. It's about finding people who think like owners and understand what it means to build equity together. And I think that is critical. It took me some time, but I eventually found partners that shared in my vision and were willing to invest in their time and energy into the business, and that they own, and not always updating the resume, always trying to find the next opportunity. So there are myriad of other ones. I'll stop with those 2.
All right, there you have it. Thank you so much for sharing, Ross. And who would like to follow up with that question? Your 2 biggest challenges. Who would like to go next?
I'll add one. I think a really big challenge is waiting for the perfect moment. Everyone thinks that there's this perfect time to start, and there is no perfect time to start. You just actually need to start. I found, between my wife and I, we started over 3 different businesses. Well, 3 that are successful now. I mean, we started much more than that, but was always waiting to see, okay, we need to have X amount of money. We need to have this amount of product. We need to have this amount of access to, influencers or whatever the case may be. And waiting for the right moment, it prevents you from actually starting, and then you end up starting too late. And then before you know it, someone has started with the same idea that you actually was going to start with. So you have to really just jump in, both feet in, and then as you're going, you're going to figure out things, you're going to learn, and you just have to keep moving and pivoting. So there is no perfect time to start your business. There is no perfect time to start being an entrepreneur. It's a matter of being brave enough to know that things are going to happen. You are going to make mistakes, and you actually want to make mistakes because that's how you learn what not to do, right? So it's okay when you do make mistakes, because making mistakes shows that you're actually trying different things, right? Because that's the only way you're actually going to know what is going to work for your business when you try it. So don't wait, start, and as you go, you will gather the speed, you will gather the resources, you will actually know what you need, and then you can actually be successful at what you're doing. The second thing I would say is money, right? Everyone needs money to run a business. Like it doesn't matter who you are. The richest people need money, the poorest people need money. So it's not picking something that you need this astronomical amount of money to actually start the business, and being able to start the business with very low funds. Like, for instance, my wife and I, we have a wig business that we started over 15 years ago, and we literally started it with $500. This business has gone on to make a lot of money. And if we waited, we would have never started. We literally started with $500, and we took that $500 and we grew it and grew it and grew it and grew it. So I say this to say, you can start with very little money. You just have to be really smart, and you just have to really think about what it is that you're doing. So you don't need a ton of money to start your business. You just have to make sure that you're starting the right business that does not need a ton of capital. Because if you're waiting for a business to start and you need a massive amount of capital, then you're probably not going to start that business. And then if you can't get access to that money, then you're definitely not starting the business. So you have to be smart in terms of what kind of business you're going to start, how you're going to access this money, and then making sure that the money that you're actually using, you can use it to grow this business in a way that actually is going to make sense. So those are the 2 things I would say for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ed. And let's go to our local community. Who would like to go first?
I would like to go. I just want to say to Ed, the first point you made, I really identify with that, because that exact same thing happened to me. I had an amazing idea. I did a crowdfunding campaign to fund that idea. And when the crowdfunding campaign failed, I gave up. And then a few years later, somebody came up with the idea and they're doing successful in it. So I wish I had gotten your advice sooner. But for me, I would say one of my biggest challenges is my time, balancing my time. I am a single mother of 3. I work a full-time job, and now I've started this business on a side. And to be honest, most of the time I feel like I just never have enough time. So one thing I had to learn is scheduling, the importance of scheduling everything, even, stuff for the children in terms of their school activities, just scheduling everything that I can possibly schedule, and prioritizing things and setting more realistic goals for myself. That has helped me manage my time a lot better. I still have a lot of work to do, but I am doing a lot better in that regard. And another challenge I had was funding, just like with what Ed mentioned, just not having the capital to start. But what I found was, when I focused on a few of the items that I wanted to first start selling, I realized that I did not have to spend too much. I didn't even need a loan to start. I could use some of my own limited resources, put it into the business, focus on getting things that are more cost effective, and then reinvesting the monies that I would make back into the business so that the business can grow. And now, I have an actual product line. I have multiple products that I did not expect that I would have by now, only because I started investing the little that I had rather than looking for, a big amount of money from crowdfunding and other opportunities. And I just want to also mention that another thing that helped me is exploring opportunities to just put my business out there. So any little promotional event, any little expo or trade fair, anything that was happening, I would sign up for it. Even if I was nervous, even if I was scared, I would still do it just to put my business name out there. And that has helped me grow so much.
Thank you so much for sharing, Satra. I think we all felt that. So who would like to go next, Isaiah or Claire?
Yeah, I can go next.
Well, ladies first.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, for me, one of the biggest challenges was believing in what I believe in. So, in other words, I found that, yes, I had the idea, and yes, at first it sounded good, but then the process of okay, I have to go through this without having a deep family history in entrepreneurship, and two, doing something that the people around me haven't done, and so that by itself is a difficult thing, because you're trying to do something that the people around you don't understand because they've never done it. And so it meant that I had to connect with people outside of my normal circle. I had to do a lot of reading. I had to find avenues to connect with persons who had done successfully something that I had never done before. And you literally have to accept the fact that not everybody around you is going to understand what you're doing. And one thing that really helped me is that I saw on Instagram this video, and in that video was a bobsled athlete, right? And so she was training in a gym, and she was doing this exercise where she had, I think, her right hand on the ground, and she was running on the treadmill. It looked totally ridiculous.
Okay, I believe Isaiah's having some latency issues. So, Isaiah, you still with us? Okay, he may be having some latency issues, and there may be a chance where he may drop off. In the event that he does, I just want to just put this in here, guys. So we are located in the Caribbean, specifically in St. Lucia. So you may hear in somebody's background a rooster crowing, a dog barking, a cat meowing, somebody's lawnmower going off, or somebody shouting. Please keep in mind that this is the Caribbean and this is how we are. We don't have soundproof walls. We're not in a studio, so just be mindful of that. So don't come down on us too much if you hear any background noise. This is one free space right here. Okay. All right. So like I suspected, he dropped off. So let's hope that he'll come back on. So Claire, let's go straight into you. Tell us about your challenges, the two biggest ones.
Okay, I'm still a startup. I'm still in the startup phase, so currently I do not have many challenges. I'm actually completing my market research and trying to reconstruct my business plan to suit the results from my market research. My biggest challenge for my business is the limited availability of technical and skilled personnel for the specialized processes involving creating the products for my business. And to address this, I've invested in a lot of training programs, seeking assistance from international entities who produce similar products. as what my business aims to produce. Also aiming to work with marketing companies to assist me in reaching my target market, and also seeking assistance from, for example, the Department of Agriculture. Another challenge is trying to persuade persons behavioral change. For example, while interviewing farmers for my market research, a handful of them are not really into organic farming. All they care about is just mass production for the demand of their products. So by right, they are more interested in the use of chemical fertilizers and um, and what it seeks to enable high crop yield. So I have been trying to persuade them, despite some of the farmers being hesitant that they would like to stick to the organic fertilizers. um, One of the biggest successes through my market research is attending training sessions aimed at educating farmers on the benefits of what my products entail.
All right, there you have it. Thank you so very much for sharing, Kyle. Um, we're just waiting on Isaiah to join us, but I'm just going to throw my two challenges in here because we're all entrepreneurs here on this platform. So with with me, my one of my biggest challenges is persons not taking me seriously. Um, and for the better part of that, it is only local. Um, the work that I do and my reach, actually, am actually recognized and appreciated outside of St. Lucia, but not in St. Lucia. So you find that when persons want to work on certain projects and so on, they wouldn't contact me, they wouldn't call me. Um, but then when certain agencies want to do work on projects, guess who they call? Me. And they tend to refer persons to me. If they speak about training and so on, they contact me. Another challenge that I have is persons not wanting to pay for services. And unfortunately, this has been a pain in my side, a thorn in my side for the better part of a year or so, because we have gotten to the point where we've been spoon fed funds for over a period of time from our local government and various initiatives where everything is funded, everything is funded, everything is funded. So nobody sees the benefit of investing anymore. They don't see the need to pay for anything, and they don't see it as an investment in themselves or in their business. So if there's something that they need to have done, they don't want to pay for it. And if it does have a price tag, because they know you, they prefer not to pay you, but they will pay somebody else, and they would gladly pay that person's their price. So this is a challenge that I've been having in my business for the better part of several years. So I'm hoping that through this discussion we can potentially share some of the solutions or the strategies as to how we can overcome those challenges. And we're kind of going to move into the next part now, since we've identified what our challenges are. And some we have a viewer here who's basically saying that she's struggling as well. So I'm gonna highlight her comment on the screen here. This is Shireen. She's saying that this is something I'm struggling with, finding a great partner who shares her vision. I think that ties in well with what you were saying, Ross. So Shireen says that she is having the same issue as well. And also what I mentioned regarding persons not wanting to pay, she has that exact same challenge. So I think it's not something a cookie cutter situation. There are different businesses, but there are just some persons within the local entrepreneurial ecosystem that they don't like to pay. Not that they can't afford, but they just don't like to pay for whatever reason. So what we're going to do at this point now, we're going to talk about the strategies that we are currently using or that we plan to use to overcome those specific challenges that we would have highlighted. So I'm going to jump straight back into you, Ross, because you mentioned two of those challenges. You spoke about finding the right partner and so on, and updating the resume and so on. Can you share with us what strategy that you use to sort of eradicate those challenges, if you have been able to do so, and if not, what are you currently doing to mitigate this challenge?
So I think for the first one, when we talk about burning the resume, it's a very simple thing. Okay. And I know that I am not your typical entrepreneur where people, you kind of have your job, you feel like you have commitments, but I'll tell my story and so you can understand it a little bit more. When I started my business, my wife wasn't working. My daughter was at university. Okay. And I was the only breadwinner in the house. Okay. I had a mortgage to pay and I started my business. The reality is, I gave myself no choice but to be successful. So the strategy as you kind of go through your entrepreneurial journey is give yourself no option but success. Because as human beings and as a Black men and especially Black women, because I talk a lot to Black women entrepreneurs. When our backs against the wall, we make things happen. So I think, when we talk about strategy, how do you get over the strategy? Or what is the strategy? Strategy is simple. Give yourself no option but success, and you will be successful. The second one, it's about partnership. Don't There's a don't go into a partnership with somebody because they're your friend. Okay, you've got to find people that share your vision. And I see this in the Caribbean especially, is we don't know as business partners what it means to build equity. Building equity is not pushing paper for the business. Building equity is coming to the table with innovation ideas, coming to the table with revenue generating ideas for the business. So what I did to solve my problem is anytime I was going into a partnership with somebody, I wanted to understand a little bit in depth of what they built, what was their vision, okay? Because my first company, my vision was to build it and sell it. My partner's vision was to build it and pass it on to her kids. Already a disconnect. But that conversation didn't happen until 2 years into the business. So what I suggest is that you make sure that, almost like an interview with your partner, if your potential partner, understand what their motivations are. One, for the business, where they want to go, what the exit plan is. Secondly, how are they going to help you build equity? Because if you hire, if you, they have to bring value that an employee can't bring. Because quite frankly, if an employee can bring it, why are you not hiring somebody to do it and keep your equity? And that's the questions you constantly have to ask yourself. One other thing I want to just piggyback on, Michelle, that you said about your business and people not wanting to pay. What I think you need to think about is that if people don't want to pay for your service, are you in the right business for the market you're in? Maybe you need to explore a different market for your business. Okay. And that's a reality check, because we all love the market we're in. You probably love the fact that you're making a difference in the St. Lucian market. But if you don't want to pay for your service, then you no longer have a business. You either become a charity, right? Or you go into a market that does appreciate and focus on that market. I'll pause there because I know others have to speak.
Yes, thank you so very much, Ross, for sharing those two. I'm definitely going to come back to you on a couple of things that you said. So at this time, I want to go to Satra. No, let's go to Ed. I want to go to Ed next. So Ed, you mentioned, waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment that you should wait for. Some persons may disagree with you there with that statement. They will say timing is everything. Some persons may disagree with you and say timing is everything. And then you, of course, mentioned money or the lack thereof. and being able to start something with as little as, but then
Yes.
somebody else will say, but what if you have zero? How can you start something with zero? You still need something to start something. So can you please share, what strategy did you use for the challenges that you mentioned?
Okay, so I think the first thing I want to address is the fact that, for instance, when my wife came to me to say, hey, because we were both working for, for someone, right? For the man. And, I was working, I would get into work 12 o'clock in the afternoon and I would get off of work at 2 o'clock in the morning. That was my schedule, 5 days a week. My wife would go into work at 8 and she would get off at 5. She had more of a 9 to 5 kind of job, but she was working for a company that was doing about, I think, 3 million a year, right? Selling, on Madison Avenue, New York. And, she just got tired. She put in 15 hours with this company. And, when she got pregnant with our first child, they basically told her, you have to be back at work in a week. Like there was no care. There was no, and she was their number one seller. Like she made this business, this company money, right? She led their most profitable store in New York, and they have a combination of maybe 20 stores, right? So, she was like their golden child, and they literally just treated her like she was nothing. So between that happening and me being tired of working these crazy hours and knowing that I have a child and I'm not getting to see my baby, that was like, okay, what are we going to do? Like, I'm tired. And I always really didn't like working for anybody anyway. So we decided to start doing research. Now, this is super important if you're going to go into business. Like, you have to do research. Like, you have to dig really deep and really collect information about what it is that you're actually going to do, the kind of business you're going to start, and make sure you have a lot of information to back what it is that you're about to do. Because you can't just decide, oh, I'm going to start a business and have no idea how it even goes. Like, you don't know who the players are, you don't know the vendors, nothing. So it's like you really have to do research. So that's what we did. I would get off of work, get home at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. My wife would be falling asleep on the computer doing research, finding vendors in China, in India, wherever it is. We had no idea about the hair business. So we just dug deep, right? And what that allowed us to do was be comfortable enough to say, okay, if we're to start this business, at least we know where we need to get the vendors from. We need to know. And she basically was like, can I borrow $500? I was like, for what? He goes, I want to start this hair business and I need to buy samples. So we literally bought 3 samples, 3 bundles, and that's what the $500 was. With those 3 samples, we made, I think, 1 wig. That 1 wig she wore, she made it so good just off of research that someone that she was selling to in the store that she worked in came up to her and was like, I want to buy the wig off of your head. The lady literally bought the wig from her, off of her. And that showed us that, okay, so if we can do this, and she made double the money just like that. So we're like, So we took that money, bought some more samples. And that's how we did it, little by little. It wasn't, oh, we need to have 1,000 inventory. No, it's like you start very little and you just grow it with increments. So that's basically how we took $500 and grew it into a business that allowed both of us to quit our 9 to 5. And we were both combined, we were making over 6 figures, right? So we were making really good money in New York City. So for us to quit our jobs, we were doing really good. And because of us just taking that $500 and slowly growing it into this business, right? Not jumping ahead of ourselves. So I say this to say, for you to start with very little, you have to do the research. So you know exactly what you're putting your money into and knowing what you can do with that little bit of money to actually grow your business, right? So that's how that happened. Yeah.
Nice. I love the way you told that story, because it we can actually see that playing out, that scene
Exactly.
that you shared. I love the way you told that story.
Thank you.
Your wife really does some really awesome work for somebody to buy a wig off of her head. That's I've never heard of that before. So she
Yeah.
must have done some really great work
Yes.
for that to happen. So
Yeah.
kudos to her for that.
Thank you.
Kudos to her for that. So I just want to go into, I may not be able to get everybody because of course we're on a time limit. So I just want to get one more person, to jump in on this part of the conversation. But before we do that, we have a question here from Shireen, and I believe that is for you, Ross. So this is her question here. Um, Perhaps you can maybe shed some light on this particular question that she has. How do you
Yeah,
find a partner?
great. Great question. So I think being an entrepreneur, first of all, is about networking. And you say your network is your net worth, right? And I believe it was Michelle that said earlier she went to a number of different events. I think it's about going
Satra.
to every event. Oh, it was Satras, yes. So I think it's about going to different events, finding yourself in places like this, and meeting people. Okay, asking a lot of questions, and sooner or later you would find the partner. It's also identifying people. You may see somebody in the community that's doing a lot of great things. You approach them and have a conversation with them. Okay. It's the other thing I'd say is looking at people that have certain skills that you may not have as well. Okay, to plug in those skills. But I think it's about just putting yourself out there, positioning yourself. And the one of the challenges that we have as Black people is we never show up. You need to show up at every opportunity, and then things will start to happen. I think that's my advice.
Yeah, you must show up. I like what you just said there, Ross, because in the past 6 years that I've been doing what I do, I'm in the business of sharing opportunities, and there are a couple of them that came with, them being able to actually get money, and two of those persons are actually right here in this session, so they can tell you. I did not want to be I did not want that to be the reason for them to actually take that opportunity. So I kept that one on a DL. And then I said, hey, you need to take part in this. Yes, it's for the training, but it's for your benefit. It's for your learning. And you're going to benefit at the end of it, because in the back end, I've been doing a lot of groundwork, preparing the stage for them. And it's only after they were done, you could have seen, I literally stood around looking to see the expression on their faces, each of them. And when they got that check, they were like, oh my God, oh my God. They did not realize that they were getting money at the end of that. They didn't know, and I didn't tell them. So, so the thing is, sometimes you just have to, take advantage of every opportunity that you get. And that's something that I say all the time. And if there's any opportunity that doesn't fit you, share it with somebody else, because it can benefit someone. Yeah. So don't hog, everything for yourself. Take what you can, and then definitely share with others, because there are other people coming up just like you too. Don't forget to share. So I want to go to Satra. Satra, you mentioned an issue that I think a lot of women entrepreneurs face, and that is balancing time, and you have your family. Like, I have the same thing, and I'm a single parent, right? I'm a single parent, and I have to balance this and still be able to sleep. And people ask me, how do you do it? I can't even answer that question. I can't. So, can you answer that question? How do you balance your time? And how did you already gave a little bit of explanation as to how you manage the funding part. But how do you balance the time with your children and the business and everything? How do you do that? It's a full-time job. How do you do that?
Well, like I mentioned before, I'm still working on that. I have not perfected it as yet. It's still a struggle, but I was tired of having my business suffer because I did not have time. So of course I have to give the children time. Of course I have to give my job time because I work 8 to 5 Monday to Friday. but I always felt like my business was suffering because everything else came first. And I didn't want to put everything on a side, but I had to find a way to add my business to everything. And so now what I've started doing, even with social media posts and everything, making it setting realistic goals for myself, not being too hard on myself if I miss out on something, but also setting realistic goals so that I know, okay, every week I am going to post a video about my business. I am going to do a craft video and share it on social media. I am going to set time to take part in whatever courses that I do. If I have to work on a business continuity plan or my marketing plan, whatever it is that I have to do, set time to do it and set a goal, set a date, an actual date for which I'm going to do it by, so that even if I don't say I do it every day, work towards it every day, I know, okay, by Friday that has to be done. Maybe Wednesday night I stay up a little later to put some time towards it. And then also not be too hard on myself, because I find when I'm too hard on myself, it's so demotivating that I just kind of want to give up. So I'm learning to just not be too hard on myself, and also scheduling is a big thing for me. Google Calendar has sort of been a savior for me, if I have to admit. I put everything into Google Calendar now. Every single thing. Like the children's teacher will send a message in their WhatsApp group. We have a tour outing or whatever on that day. I put it in the calendar so that when I look at the month, or I look at the day, or I look at the week, I know, okay, this is coming up, that is coming up, and I put things in place to make sure that I am available for everything. But it's hard. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's very difficult, and I'm still working on it. But I am doing much better. And Michelle, I have to thank you for that, because I remember always telling you, Miss, I just don't have the time. I just don't have that time. And you always used to tell me, make the time. You can do it. You can do it. If you really want this, you have to do it. So I have to say thank you, because that always, I used to be like, why Miss not just giving me the secret? Like, just tell me what to do. But you allow me to find my own way of getting past that, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And just so that you know, my life is a hectic mess. I'm not gonna lie to you. My life is a hectic mess, which is why I can tell you what I do. Yeah. I mean, I got to the point where my children used to tell me, "Mommy, are you married to the phone? Mommy, you don't have no time for me." I literally got tired of hearing that. And I literally had to set schedule times for myself, schedule hours. I work for myself, but I set schedule hours. So Monday to Thursday, I work from this time to that time, and I'm done. And I have 1 hour for lunch. Yeah. Then on Friday, I leave work early. I'm not at an office, I work from home, but I leave work early. In other words, I log off early. And when I log off, right? And then when the hours are done, it coincides with the hours that my children come home. So when they come home, they get my attention, because when they come home, there's homework, there's assignments, and right now we're talking about grade five, and grade five, a lot of work, a lot of work. So when you think work is done, there is work, there is mom work. It never ends for a mom, which is why I really appreciate, the fact that you're sharing this. It never really ends for a mom. I mean, if you have a partner, great, wonderful, you can share the workload. But as a single parent, by easy, huh? I'm just saying that's our lingo, by easy. But we need to do it, and we need to work at it. Another thing that works really well for me, and yes, I do take sick leave. My last partner actually laughed at this. I literally went to a doctor and I asked for a sick leave form, and I pinned it up on my mirror to remind myself that I'm on sick leave. Yes, I did. I actually did. I took sick leave from myself and I put it up so that I can see when I wake up on the morning, okay, I'm not working. I'm not supposed to be working. I'm supposed to be resting. I'm not well. So I literally used that pink paper as my motivation to take some time off. And the thing is, I love what I do so much. It's not work to me. So that's why it comes naturally for me to get up and do it. But I have to do certain things deliberately in order for me to have the time to do the things that I need to do. Okay? So Sunday, that's family fun day. It's chores and family fun day. Saturday, that's the Sabbath. We don't do any work. We go to church, and for the whole day, that's what it is. Saturday nights, it's either movie night or games night. And that's how I schedule it. So now there is no complaining about mommy this and mommy don't have time and whatever, whatever, whatever. And then at the end of the year, and that's something else that I recently added, I take 2 weeks off at the end of the year. And that's my vacation time. And these 2 weeks, my vacation responder, my email is on, and I am out with my children. I do not turn on the laptop. I do not check the messages. I am not at work. This is 2 weeks for my children, and that's what I do. So this is something that I've deliberately scheduled for myself to be able to do everything that I do. Okay, so I'm just sharing some of my strategies with you. Not sure if it's going to work for you, but this is just what I basically did for myself. All right, so we've touched on a number of the strategies, and I'm hoping that they're helping those persons who are watching. There is another suggestion that a viewer is making here, so I'm just going to put it on the screen. You can collab and barter with someone who has the skills that you require to help you with the workload, and that's of course if you have somebody that you work with. It can be kind of challenging when you are the only one doing it though, but you have to find the right person. Because another challenge you may come across is persons not caring about the work as much as you care about the work. That's another challenge too. So choosing the right person is definitely key. But bartering of services, I'm all for that. I've always been an advocate for bartering of services. I wish we did it more often. So yes, thank you so much, Shireen, for that suggestion. Okay, so guys, right now we're moving into our next segment, okay, where we're going to explore how the diaspora, so I'm going to be, singling out Ross and Ed here, how the diaspora can play a pivotal role in supporting entrepreneurship here in St. Lucia. So I'm just going to have just two questions I'm going to be sharing out here with you so that you can share. And I'm going to send Satra and Kyle to the back so I can have this discussion with Ed and with Ross. All right. So this is our second segment. Okay, guys. So here is the very first question. How do you, as a member of the diaspora community, currently contribute to entrepreneurship in St. Lucia? I know it's a tough question, so anybody can go first.
Ross, you muted. No, we can't hear you. Well, I can't hear you.
I can't hear you either. Okay. Okay. What you may have to do is to drop off and then try coming back in. And that may help.
Still can't hear you.
Yeah, you may need to actually leave the meeting and then come back in and see if that would help.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
I apologize, technology. So, when it comes to giving back to St. Lucia, this is a big thing for me. Currently, I give back through mentorship. So mentoring one or two entrepreneurs to help them through their journey, more through their thought process. But I do believe that there's so much opportunity for entrepreneurship in St. Lucia, and there are a couple things that we need to do. So for my part, I see myself my role as a builder and a catalyst, right? And one of the things that we have done, I spoke earlier about Catalyze Caribbean, and it's to bridge that talent in St. Lucia and the wider Caribbean for opportunities in North America. What does that really mean? That means that businesses in St. Lucia will have access to some of the tools and technology that we're doing, that we're building, and we're offering North America, will be also offered for entrepreneurs in St. Lucia. The other thing, which is much bigger, and within 12 months we will do it, is we are going to create a diaspora investment fund and incubator. This project aims to kind of mobilize investments from St. Lucians abroad. Okay, not only investments but also experience from St. Lucians abroad. Okay, so that they can fund small businesses at home here in St. Lucia. Okay, while providing entrepreneurs with mentorship, training, and access to global markets, which we all know that we need to succeed. Through this fund, we'll not only infuse capital into the local economy, but we will connect entrepreneurs with experienced mentors who will help them navigate the challenges of not only starting a business, but scaling a business, scaling their businesses. So I'm pretty excited about that. This is the first anybody's hearing of this at this event. The team has been working for the last 3 months to put it together. It probably will be, we're probably about 6 months away from launch. So stay tuned for more.
Let me just kind of put a plug in here. I knew before you guys did. Just saying. Okay, so so Ed, what about you?
Well, first of all, I just want to say congrats and thank you so much, Ross, for doing that, because that's a pretty big deal. So I'm really excited to see that come into fruition. For me, being that I'm a chef, last time I was in St. Lucia in February, I decided to, well, a couple of times that I've been back to St. Lucia, I'm always working with chefs, line cooks, anyone that's in the culinary business. And just always, for me, it's always about teaching and giving back. So offering mentorship is something that I've always done and continue to do. And I'm just looking forward to doing it on an even bigger scale. So I want to team up with anyone that's in the business that needs help training and just offering what I've learned traveling the world and cooking in different kitchens throughout Asia, North America, etc. And just being able to use that knowledge that I've acquired and put it into the next generation coming up, right? And then just offering the tools that I use currently via AI technology just to make planning, making recipes easier and better, scaling, things like that. So offering platforms that I have on my digital website to help people start an online business, right? Whereas they can start up e-commerce business to sell their spices from anywhere in the world. So you don't have to worry about shipping. You don't have to worry about a lot of different things. So just being able to offer my knowledge in terms of the businesses that I've started and just mentoring the next generation to be better chefs and just be able to have the confidence to go into any kitchen and be able to do the same work you can see if you go to any different country.
I love what I'm hearing so far. So I'm going to sort of tag on to what you said first, Ross. So you mentioned this investment fund that you're basically working on right now with your team and so on. Let me just say that just yesterday afternoon, I believe, I was on a call with the U.S. Embassy and the Public Affairs Department. We're arranging an event for GEW happening this Thursday. And one of the questions they asked me was, is there anything that exists right now, for St. Lucians to be able to have, a bit of an accelerator program where, they can come to a particular event or a space where they can pitch, and they have the potential to get mentoring, the potential to get investment and so on. Do you currently have that? I'm like, no, we would love to have that. We would love to have that, but we don't have that right now. What we have is a lot of people who need help, but there's nobody that has the capacity to get them to where they need to be. We have a lot of people promising stuff and saying that we're going to train you in stuff and we're going to tell you in stuff, but when it comes to the action and pulling you up to the next step, it's a problem. So this is what we need. There's a dire need for this here. So I mentioned that, hey, guess what? I have this event that I'm hosting today. And one of the key things is there's this individual who's working on this very, very same topic. And she's like, wow, Michelle, it's like you're thinking of everything. Like you seem to be the leader of things, in St. Lucia pushing stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not the leader of persons pushing stuff. Um, I'm just about getting the word out there, because the thing is, there are opportunities that exist, but sometimes it is only filtered through various channels. Who you know, that I know, that I know, that we know, these are the people that get to know. And unfortunately, people tend to hog this information to themselves. So this information, this opportunity should be readily available to anybody who's interested, as far as I'm concerned. Another thing that I would love to see is a co-working space open in St. Lucia finally. Like, what are we waiting on? Like, really, what are we waiting on? There are so many small business owners that need a space that they can just come in, maybe just use for a certain period of time, maybe short term, maybe pay a month to month or something, where they can just set up a space and say, if you call wherever, you get my office. Yeah, it may be one person sitting at a desk, but at least you have a location. You have a sort of, you don't have a brick and mortar, but you have a space that somebody can come in and talk to somebody face to face, and maybe schedule and have a meeting and so on. And I know this is something that Ross is passionate about as well, because we were having this discussion, and this has been attempted so many times here, but it has never actually happened. So I'm hoping that with the right people, that it can actually happen this time. I'm really hoping and praying. Ross, I want you to be the leader on this. If you lead that torch, I'm gonna follow you right through. I'm telling you, I will. Yes, I will. If you
Well,
want to lead
well,
this.
well, I'll tell you, when it comes to, as part of the incubator program, we're going to have pitch competitions. I'm already thinking that Ed needs to be part of this. He needs to come down,
100%.
because in St. Lucia, we have a lot of people opening restaurants and food businesses,
Yes.
right? Whether it be
Yes.
sauces and spices and that sort of thing. I think, being part of a pitch, Ed, would be our way of really, really driving and giving back. So listen, we're gonna do a lot of work over the next 2 years in St. Lucia
Yes.
to do what we can and share the knowledge and our experiences and access to our relationships on the island, to make a better diaspora ecosystem, a better entrepreneurship ecosystem.
Excellent. I love the sound of that. And also for you, Ed, I know, because of course I know a couple of people who own restaurants, who are making their own sauces and so on. I know a couple of them that I can connect directly with you. I'm going to name a few.
Okay.
I know Siobhan Anatole. Um, I know Natoya Popo. There's also Malika Amadi. There are a number of persons that I know of that could
Mhm.
really benefit from your assistance, from your insight, from your mentorship, to help develop
Yes.
themselves so that they can make themselves more marketable and beyond St. Lucia, because that's what their range is. That's what they want to do. So it would be really great for you to connect with them on that level and take them to the next level. We also have one other person. Her name is Jordan Norbert, and
Mhm.
she currently owns the Eco Food Training and Certification Agency. She works with the World Chefs. They have a program locally here, like a chef program. I would really love to connect you with her, so you can talk to her a bit more about how maybe you can help her out there as well. So just a number of things that's coming to mind as you're talking. We have a question for you, Ed, from the comments. I'm going to put it up here on the screen for you. I do reviews. Do you have any advice for turning this into a business or something that pays? I am getting traction on my social media, but I'm still navigating monetizing it.
Yes, most definitely. That's a great question. So doing food reviews is something that can definitely be a really big business and a successful business. I would say is focus on YouTube. That is the number one place to be on. Forget Instagram, forget Facebook, forget TikTok. Like, go on YouTube. And I say go on YouTube for a million reasons. One, anything you post on YouTube stays on YouTube indefinitely. So it doesn't matter if you posted it 50 years ago or you posted it yesterday, it is relevant, right? Because they will push that information for you. Two, with YouTube, you get paid multiple ways. when you upload a video on YouTube for a review, one, the more videos you upload, the more views you get. Once you reach a certain level on YouTube, YouTube themselves will pay you because you're getting that much traction and that many views. And then on top of that, companies will now approach you and pay you again to do their views and their videos as well. So you're going to get paid from companies, you're going to get paid from YouTube, and then you're going to get paid from individuals that want to advertise on your channel. So you can get paid 3 different ways from just putting up one video on YouTube. So definitely, if you want to do that as a business, I just say put out videos and just consistently put out the videos, right? Don't put out one video this week and then next month put out a video, then 2 months later put out a video. Like, you have to pick a schedule and then stay with that schedule, because YouTube is very, very particular when it comes to posting, and their algorithm watches everything. So they will push your videos and your content if they know that you're always on YouTube posting and uploading. So just create a schedule. Even if you're going to post once a month, it's better to post once a month than to post on January and then on March and then in June. But if you schedule it just once a month, that's something that you can do. That's 12 videos a year. You can do that, right? Or 1 video a week. But whatever you schedule, you create, just put that schedule there. Tell YouTube that that's what you're going to actually do. And the thing is with YouTube, it takes time, right? But if it's something that you're really serious about doing and you put in the work, it will pay off, because there are people on YouTube making millions of dollars, and literally all they do is sit down in front of a camera, record, and upload. That's it. It's as simple as that. So if you have the time and this is a project that you actually are passionate about, then I say 100% go for it. And don't worry about editing. Don't worry about the fluff. Don't worry about, camera angles and all of that. The most important thing and what YouTube wants is consistency, right? The video doesn't have to be high definition. As long as it's clear enough and people can hear and understand what you're saying, that's all that matters. Everything else will come later on, because as you start to build and you make more money, then you can invest in better equipment, then you can invest in better lighting, then everything else will fall into place. So yes, for sure.
Awesome. So Shireen, I'm hoping that this really does help you. And also for those persons who are in the food business right now and who just started on YouTube and still kind of getting their feet wet a bit. I'm just going to put this out there, Ed. So do you think you'd be in a position to sort of give them a couple of pointers, maybe a session, a closed session where you can maybe talk to them about how to get this done? So Ed was being very modest earlier, guys. Let me just put this out there. Ed was being extremely modest earlier, because you noticed he did not share the lots of money parts. He kind of paused. He thought about it, because I think he knew what his wife would say. And then he's like, okay, nope, don't want any trouble. Don't want any trouble. Not today. Not today. And he chose his words carefully. But the truth is, Ed and his wife are extremely successful. Let me tell you, they are extremely successful. Yeah. So
we thank God.
Can you imagine? I'm watching this YouTube channel, Fumi Desaluvold. I'm watching her channel, and she is raving about this masterclass, this wig masterclass. This is a YouTube influencer raving about Ed and his wife's masterclass. And she's telling people, you need to sign up. And the link is in the bottom. I mean, I know in the back end there may be some, affiliations going on. I mean, that's fine. But the point is, they're getting their names and their products out there. That's the point. And it reached me. And I know the viewers, there are thousands of viewers watching this channel, and they're getting this information. And this is pushing Ed and his wife's business forward. And this is how I was able to then reconnect back to him. So you never know where you can reach the person that you need to be in contact with. So now that we have Chef Ed with us, this is again another opportunity, guys. Are you going to sleep on you, as we St. Lucians like to say? Are you going to sleep on you and let the opportunity pass you by? Or are you going to take advantage of the fact that you have a chef right here who's willing to assist and help you guys get started? But again, in order for you to do that, you need to fill out the form. So I shared the link in the chat. It's in the comment. fill out this form so we can capture information, and then we can arrange something to meet up and have a discussion with Ed. Now, when it comes to the plans that Ross and his team has, good things come to those who wait. It's not immediate. So, guys, it's coming. It's coming. Just know that you heard it here first, but it's coming. Okay? So, again, all you need to do, ensure that you fill out this form so that you will be the first to know. So, if in the event we decide to do, another session or close the session where more information is going to be given as to who will be the first set of people to test this out, or to try it out, you guys are going to be the first. Yeah, so be sure to fill out this form, guys, okay, if you have not yet done so. All right, so at this time, what I want to do is bring our ladies back to the front, so that we can hear from them, because now we want to talk about the future of entrepreneurship as we see it. Based on what we've discussed so far, where do we see the future of entrepreneurship going? What is your vision of entrepreneurship right now? Where do you see that going in St. Lucia? And this is for our local entrepreneurs, Satra and Cliel. What is your vision for entrepreneurship? Where do you see it going right now? And for the diaspora, my question to you is, what is your vision for the role of the diaspora in helping to shape this future vision? So anybody can go first.
I can jump in from a diaspora perspective. I believe the future of entrepreneurship in St. Lucia is filled with opportunity, particularly as we embrace technology and innovation as drivers of economic growth. Now, for us to truly unlock that potential, we must approach entrepreneurship as a shared responsibility, one where the private sector, as entrepreneurs, the government, and the diaspora work hand in hand to create an ecosystem that supports entrepreneurs at every stage of their journey. The governance role is very important and pivotal to this initiative. We got to create policies that reduce barriers for business creation. Okay, providing access to funding, and not just access to funding to give money away, right? I really don't believe in giving money away, but investing in infrastructure. Governments can create an environment for entrepreneurs to thrive. And I think that would include making it easier to register and operate a business. Last I checked, it costs about $5,000 to register a business. I don't know if different people have different experiences. In Canada, it costs $50, right? Supporting education in entrepreneurship and technology, providing incentives for sectors like renewable energy, technology, and agriculture. The government can really act as a connector, okay? Building partnerships with international organizations for these entrepreneurs, okay? And building partnerships with the diaspora, okay, to attract investment, okay, to help our organizations build. Ultimately, I think the future depends on collaborations, aligning policy, okay, and you have to be intentional because government's number one role is to create policy that drives industry. So aligning the policy, private sector innovation, diaspora investment, and experience, we can create a thriving ecosystem where entrepreneurship drives economic growth, fosters innovation, and best of all, especially for the government, creates jobs. And I think that is where we need to go. I think that's the missing link, and that's very important to the next phase of entrepreneurship in St. Lucia.
Thank you. Since we're on the topic of the diaspora, Ed, would you like to go?
Sure thing. I think for me, one of the big things I see happening in the future is using the resources that we have available, right? And the fact that, we're talking about St. Lucia and the idea that resources might be limited, right? And that might be the case in some areas. But one thing people don't realize is that YouTube, right? We're back to YouTube. People need to see YouTube for what it really is. YouTube is this omni-channel of many things, right? You can make money on YouTube, but you can also learn so much. Like literally, you have to refer to YouTube as YouTube University, right? So being in business and just wanting to learn how to communicate with companies internationally, how to communicate with anyone, how to learn AI, right? How to learn to use ChatGPT. I mean, you can learn all of these things for free. So anyone that's watching, if you're trying to figure out how to do business, how to go about, how to start, literally, you just have to go on YouTube, type in whatever question you have, and I'm 99.99% sure there's going to be a video that's going to come up that is going to show you what to do, right? Multiple videos. So, and then now there is ChatGPT. So the future is equipping yourself with the access and the information that will allow you to benefit and to just grow without having to come out of your pocket with some massive amount of money, right? And then not knowing if you're going to actually get anything from what you've just paid. Because for me as an entrepreneur, I've taken multiple courses, multiple classes. I just came back from a seminar like 2 days ago. And this is something you have to continuously do. So not having access to these kind of seminars and these conferences that cost thousands of dollars, right? Or some of them might even be free, but you can't travel to where they are. You have YouTube. So use YouTube as your friend. And I'm telling you, you will be in a much better place than you are today if you just literally spend, instead of being on Instagram and Facebook and watching crazy videos all day long, like focus and actually immerse yourself in learning on YouTube. Like you'll be a different person in a week. Like this is guaranteed. So for me, it's finding where to go and have access to information. ChatGPT is free, and ChatGPT is literally, think of it as your personal assistant. So you just have to type into ChatGPT, I'm from St. Lucia. My idea for a business is XYZ. How do I find somebody that I can work with in XYZ country? And it will give you 20 different ideas in 5 seconds. So this is something you can do for free, right? So you don't need to have a bunch of money to go pay for courses somewhere. Like you literally have all this information at your fingertips. So the future looks really bright. You just have to know where to look, right? And it doesn't have to cost you a ton of money. It doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. You just have to know where to look. So always putting yourself in places that you can get information, right? Always putting yourself in situations that allow you to grow, that takes you out of your comfort zone. You can't be comfortable and learn. You can't be comfortable and grow. Like it doesn't work. Like the only way you grow is by being uncomfortable, by being in a position that you don't like, and that forces change instantly. So I say this to say, the future is connecting with people that are like-minded, right? Putting yourself in places that you can learn, right? And not being hard on yourself, not judging yourself. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to fall, you're going to fumble. But the whole idea is to get back up and just keep going. Like we can't give up. The minute you give up, you failed, right? But if you fail and you keep going, you haven't failed. Because Edison, I mean, anyone that you can possibly think of that have created something, they failed a million times. The light bulb was created like over 100, I don't remember how many times, before he actually figured out the right way to do a light bulb. And that's with like everything else. So I started a bunch of businesses that failed, but here we are today. with 3 businesses that are successful. So it's not about giving up. It's about just keep going and just being smart about it. So ChatGPT, YouTube is your best friend, regardless of who you are, regardless of how much money you make. Like, there is always something you can learn, and it's free and it's just right there for you. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna pause at that.
All right, thank you so much, Ed, for sharing that. And you are 100% correct there. So again, I know Ed and Ross, you guys have to sort of jet away, but I'm just gonna send you to the background for now. But before I do that, I just want to put something up here. Yes, you saw it here first. Learn how to start your own seasoning line with Chef Ed. It's an offer that he has. So if you would like to do that and you want to connect with Chef Ed, guess what? You need to fill out that form so that we can set you up and arrange a meeting so that you can learn how to start your own seasoning line with Chef Ed. And I'm going to put a plug in here for Isaiah. He's not here, but I'm going to put it out there. Fix up your home this Christmas with We Fix It. I'm sorry, I don't have any background music with jingle bells, so this is the best that I have. So We Fix It, you can reach him on 758-717-4799. That is Isaiah Lord with We Fix It. Fix up your home this Christmas with We Fix It. He cannot do anything about courts, guys. Just the home, just the outside, not the inside. Okay, the outside, the little little furnitures and sort of thing, like the rest, putting things inside the home. That's not what he does. If you want him to build the furniture, he can do that. I suggest you do that as opposed to going to court. So guys, I'm saying it. I'm saying it. Have him build the stuff instead of going to courts. Trust me, it'll cost you a lot less. Trust me, it will. So again, I want to thank Ed for dropping by. Thank you, Ross, for gracing us with your presence. I do think I see a follow-up session in the future. Again, I mean, I'm just speaking it into existence. I see something happening in the future. So I would allow you to say, your goodbyes for now, your quick goodbyes, so that we can hear from our young ladies before we close for our session. So your final words.
Ross, I'll let you go first.
You know what, Michelle, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for putting this together. The work that you're doing, you may not see it today, but the work that you're doing is building the next generation of entrepreneurs. So I want to first of all thank you for what you're doing. It is very I am like elated to have the opportunity. I have learned from everyone on this call today, and I think these forums are very important for us to learn. So I look forward to more conversations. I'm happy to be part of any conversation that includes moving us forward as entrepreneurs. And stay tuned for more. We want to do more work in St. Lucia and the wider Caribbean. So you'll hear about it. So thank you all for attending. And I look forward to meeting in this forum in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ross, for sharing. Take care. Ed, let's hear from you.
Yes. First of all, congratulations to you, and thank you so much for putting this together. It means a lot, and I just wanted to say thanks in terms of providing a platform for us to be able to share our journey and just the trials and tribulations that we've all had. And I just hope that anyone that's watching really got something from this and is able to learn. And I definitely look forward, like Ross said, to any discussions in the future in terms of bringing us together as a community and just really putting St. Lucia on a global map, right? So good luck to everyone, anyone watching. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, go for it, right? Jump in with both feet and just be passionate enough to see this through, right? And good luck. Thank you so much. I wish each and every one of you the best. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Chef Olympics. Yes, Chef Olympics. Yes, yes, yes. That was my idea, Chef Olympics. All right. Thank you so much, Ed, for joining us. Have a great one. Okay, ladies. So it's just us now, the local entrepreneurial community. So let me hear from you guys, right? What does the future of entrepreneurship look like for St. Lucia, especially based on what you've heard for today? Which one of you want to go first?
I can go. Basically, Mr. Kadas He gave a brief summary of the status of entrepreneurship in St. Lucia. The one thing I want to touch on is that entrepreneurship should not have an age limit. Countless of times I see programs
Mhm.
being advertised. There's a cap, which is definitely not promising for persons in the older. I'm not say elder, but I'd say older generation.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so definitely that should be age. There should be no age limit on entrepreneurship in St. Lucia. And also providing trainings and providing funding. There should not be no any cap. Looking into the future, I see tremendous opportunities for entrepreneurship in St. Lucia, especially in my field, environmental sustainability industry. The global market is definitely changing, and there is increased priority for eco-friendly products. And St. Lucia is unique because there is an abundance of natural resources and innovative entrepreneurs to piggyback on those resources. Additionally, I aim to advocate for policies that support sustainable practices and to ensure and empower young entrepreneurs coming forward. Um, by fostering this sort of innovation and collaboration, we can definitely create a thriving ecosystem in St. Lucia that both current and future generations can benefit from.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. And I'm hoping that the policymakers are listening. And of course, there are times when we are the ones that have to be the catalyst to challenge the policy and even to help create the policies themselves, because we do have the power to do that. We just don't know that we have the power to do that. So thank you so much for sharing that, Kyle. Okay, Satra, let's hear from you.
For me, sorry, for me, what's really important is having the youth a little bit more interested in entrepreneurship. I think it should start even in the schools. Children should be encouraged to explore the different ways that they like to express themselves. And I think everybody, well, for the most part, you find people are limited in terms of what they want, the career paths that they want their children to follow.
Very true.
I remember when I was at school, at secondary school, what really got me into being interested in business was at St. Joseph's Convent. We used to have something called mini fair. Each class would put together a small business, sort of like a business, you could say, where you have a plan, you execute the plan, and on the day of the mini fair, you sell your items to the rest of the school. And that is actually what got me interested in starting a business. I love the idea of coming together, planning, you do this, you do that, and then everything coming together on the day. And then, of course, at the end of the day, counting the monies that we made. I loved that. And that's what got me interested in entrepreneurship. And I think all schools should provide those sort of opportunities for children. And as parents, we shouldn't limit our children to, oh, I want you to be a doctor, I want you to be a lawyer, I want you to be a nurse, I want you to be a, if children have the drive for being creative or whatever they want to do, there is, I believe, in every field, a way for somebody to become an entrepreneur. You don't have to stick to the traditional, jobs or career paths. That's one thing I think we should look into. Another thing that I'm very passionate about that I probably did not really speak about before is mental health. As somebody who suffers with anxiety, I know how important it is for me to find an outlet to express myself and to help, heal myself or cope, I should say, with the anxiety that I suffer with. And for me, I find that is something that is not how should I say it, spoken of enough in St. Lucia. You will find people going through certain things mentally and everybody brushes it aside. Everybody's either embarrassed or they're like, you have a problem, like, that sort of attitude. And I'm hoping that Crafty by Satra can be part of the change where we don't brush people aside if they have issues with their mental health, but we use the resources we have to enable people to get through those things, even if it's for crafting, whatever it may be, for yoga, exercise, whatever it is. that's something that I'm also very passionate about, and then I'm hoping to use my business to make an impact in St. Lucia.
Thank you so much, Satra, for that. And let me just share that everybody who was a speaker here today, including Belina Sheftafari, who could not be with us this afternoon due to unforeseen circumstances. She could not join us, but we want to say thank you for accepting the call to join us, but she could not join us at the end of the day. And Isaiah, who was not able to come back on, I want to say thank you for joining. Thank you to Ross, and thank you to Ed for being here with us again. Satra, Clyel, thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this panel, for sharing your challenges, for sharing a little bit of your successes. Thank you for those of you who are watching. Clyel, I have a comment here. I'm going to put it on the screen from Patricia. She says she's interested in your organic material, so please get in touch with Patricia after this event. You can connect with her because she is showing interest in your product. So, ladies, we have a very bright future ahead of us based on what I have heard in this session today, based on what I am seeing happening. And I am hoping that with the right set of people and with, the tenacity that we have as entrepreneurs, that we will be successful. Again, I want to thank you so much for joining. I'm going to say goodbye to you as we close up for the event. Again, Kyle, thank you. Satra, thank you so much. Those of you who are watching, yes, the video is there on YouTube. You can re-watch it and replay it as often as you need to. I'm going to put the link to the form in the description of the video so that you can fill out that form and be able to get connected to the resources and the upcoming opportunities that we would have shared. So please ensure that you do so. Again, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for this event, Alumni Entrepreneur Panel. It has been an incredible afternoon. It really has. So on behalf of SLUDTERA, and our Global Entrepreneurship Week partners, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of you. And I also want to say to our audience, thank you so much for engaging with your comments and, of course, your questions. Thank you. I hope this session really inspired you to think big, to collaborate, and, of course, to take action in your entrepreneurial journey. You will also receive a survey. Those of you who sign up in the form, you'll receive a survey via email. Please fill this out so that we can capture your information about what you thought about this event. And if you want to see more events like this, we want to hear from you. We'd love your feedback. And of course, include any comments or questions that you did not get a chance to ask, but it may come to you after the fact. Please put in your questions into that form. And I will ensure that our guests will get those questions so that they can be responded to when we have another session. So I just want to remind you before we go of SLUDTERA's upcoming events. Stay connected with us. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, on WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and X. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can see the next events that we have upcoming. Okay, so thank you once again, and do enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Have a wonderful afternoon. And there are other events happening for GEW across St. Lucia. This is only day 2. So please be sure to attend as many GEW events as you can. Again, thank you so much for joining. My name is Michelle. I have been your host, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye, everybody.